All right, let's talk about something that can be, well, a little terrifying. Hiring technical help. A developer, a designer, or a whole agency. It can feel like you're stepping into a completely different world, one with its own language and, let's be honest, a lot of hidden costs. Think of this as your map. We're going to give you the tools you need for clarity, confidence, and control, so you can lead any technical project, even if you don't know the first thing about code.
Does this sound familiar? You know you need to hire someone. You hop on a call or start sifting through proposals, and suddenly you feel totally out of your depth, maybe even a little bit intimidated. If you've ever felt that way, you are so not alone. And I promise you, by the end of this, that feeling is going to be replaced with pure confidence.
Oh man, these are the big ones, right? The jargon feels like a minefield. The proposals all seem to be written in a different language, making them impossible to compare. And you feel this incredible pressure to just say yes, even when your gut is screaming, I have no idea what I'm agreeing to. So many people think this confusion is their fault, that they're not qualified to be in charge. That idea is just flat out wrong, and we're going to fix it right now.
Okay, first things first, we have to completely redefine what your role is in this whole process. This is not about handing over the keys to your project, closing your eyes, and just hoping for the best. Nope. Effective delegation, especially with tech stuff, is actually an act of leadership. Just look at the difference here. The stuff on the left, that's just hoping and praying. But the stuff on the right, that's a real partnership built on a solid plan. This is the mindset shift. True delegation isn't about giving up control at all. It's about providing clear direction, creating a shared understanding, and doing it all within very defined boundaries. And this right here, this is the core idea I really want you to hang on to. You do not need to be a tech genius to lead a technical project. You just need to be an expert in one thing: clarity. That's your real job here. And believe me, it's the most important one. Okay, so with that new leadership mindset locked in, let's get practical. It is time to build your toolkit. We're going to learn how to dissect any proposal so you can see right past the fancy sales pitch and understand what's really being offered. From now on, I want you to stop looking at the price first. A proposal isn't just a sales document. It's the blueprint for your project. It's the actual plan that defines the work, what's in, what's out, and who is responsible for what. The price is just one small part of that bigger plan. So, how do you read this blueprint? Easy. Use this 4-point filter every single time. 1. Are the deliverables super specific? 2. Is the scope of work sharply defined? 3. Does the timeline seem realistic? And 4. Is it crystal clear who's responsible for what? If you get a vague, fuzzy answer to any of these, consider that a major warning sign. Let's just zoom in on scope for a second, because honestly, this is where almost all projects go off the rails. An unclear scope isn't some minor detail. It's a direct path to getting hit with surprise costs, blowing your deadlines, and ending up in a whole lot of conflict. Getting this part right is the single most important thing you can do. All right, now let's talk about some common red flags you'll see in proposals. First up, unlimited revisions. I know, it sounds amazing, right? But what it really means is there's no clear finish line. It's a recipe for endless tweaking and a project that just never, ever ends. And red flag number 2, we'll figure it out as we go. You know what that is? It's code for we don't have a plan. A real professional defines the process before they start. They don't just wing it and hope for the best. And the third red flag, a proposal that's just drowning in technical jargon with zero explanation. Don't be fooled. True experts have a knack for making complicated things seem simple. Using confusing language is often just a way to hide the fact that there's no clear plan. Remember, clarity is competence. So when you've got multiple proposals sitting in front of you, this is how you're going to compare them like a pro. Forget the price for a minute. Ignore the page count. Instead, compare the clarity of their plan. See who took the time to list out all their assumptions. That shows they're thinking ahead. Look for who defined the scope boundaries most clearly. That's where you'll find the real value and save yourself a ton of future headaches. Okay, so you've learned how to analyze a proposal. Now let's switch gears from analysis to action. This next part is all about using communication to proactively create the clarity your project needs to actually succeed. Here are 4 powerhouse questions to ask before you sign on the dotted line. You know, asking these doesn't make you difficult. It makes you a fantastic client. It shows you're thinking about the entire process, not just the final outcome. Any true professional is going to welcome these questions with open arms. Oh, this is such a critical slide. Seriously, project confusion almost always happens when these two roles get blurry. Your job is the why and the what, the business goals, the content, the direction. Their job is the how, the technical side of things. The moment you try to do their job or they try to do yours, that's when you run into problems.
You see, we keep coming back to this, and for a really good reason. If a potential partner can't clearly explain their process or their scope to you, that is not a sign of your ignorance. It is a sign of their lack of competence. Make their ability to be clear the ultimate test. Now, let's talk about your role during the project, giving feedback. Saying something like, "This feels off," is completely unhelpful. It just forces them to guess what you mean. But look at the difference when you say, "This section doesn't clearly explain the service." Now they have a specific problem they can actually solve. Here's another perfect example. Saying, "I just don't like it," is all about your personal taste. But saying, "I'm not sure what action the user is supposed to take here," connects your feedback directly to a business goal, getting the user to do something. That's feedback a pro can actually work with, and it gets you better results way faster. And that's really the key, isn't it? When you give clear, goal-oriented feedback, you're not just criticizing their work, you're collaborating. You're working together as partners to reach a shared goal, and that just reframes the entire dynamic of your relationship. So let's bring all these pieces together. We've shifted your mindset, we've built your toolkit for picking apart proposals, and we've sharpened your communication skills. With all of this, you are totally ready to move from a place of uncertainty to one of confident project leadership. And the payoff for all this? It's huge. You'll be able to spot an unclear proposal from a mile away. You'll stop overpaying for fuzzy promises and start investing in concrete plans. You will shut down that dreaded scope creep before it even starts. Bottom line, you'll be delegating from a position of confidence, not just guesswork. And this is what you're aiming for. This is the goal. A good working relationship shouldn't feel chaotic or stressful. It should feel calm, it should feel predictable, built on a foundation of transparency and mutual respect. If a project feels confusing and stressful right at the beginning, it rarely gets better. Trust that feeling. And that right there is the ultimate transformation. By focusing on clarity, asking the right questions, and truly understanding your role, you shift from being a passive client to being an active leader. You're not just hiring help anymore, you're directing the outcome, and you're leading the entire process with confidence.